Well, hellos there, young'uns. Gather round and listen up. Now, have I got a tale for you? This is the tale of the Spooky Friend. In a creaky old house at the top of a hill lived a little girl named Regan and her mom. Regan loved to play with her dolls and watch the stars at night. One dark and stormy evening, Regan found a strange-looking toy in the basement. It was an old wooden board with letters and numbers. Even though Mom had told her not to play with things in the basement, Regan couldn't help herself. That night, something odd happened. Regan's nightlight flickered on and off. The wind whistled through her window, making eerie whoo sounds. And when Regan woke up the next morning, she didn't feel like herself at all. "Good morning, sweetie," said Mom. But instead of saying good morning back, Regan growled like a grumpy bear. Her hair was all tangled, and she didn't want to brush her teeth or eat her breakfast. "I think there's a spooky friend inside me," Regan said in a gravelly voice that didn't sound like her own, "and it doesn't want to be nice." Regan's room began to get messy all by itself. Books would fall off shelves when no one was looking. The temperature would suddenly get cold, and sometimes her toys would move around on their own. Mom was worried. She called Dr. Marin and Father Karras, who knew all about spooky friends that sometimes come to visit children. "Don't worry," Father Karras told Regan's mom. "Sometimes spooky friends just need to be shown the way back home." Father Karras wore a black coat and carried a special book and a little bottle of water. Dr. Marin had white hair and kind eyes behind his glasses. Together, they came to Regan's room, where the little girl was hiding under her blankets. "Go away!" shouted the spooky friend inside Regan, making her voice sound deep and rumbly. The room got very cold, and the lights flickered on and off. "We're not scared of you, spooky friend," said Dr. Marin calmly. "You don't belong here. This is Regan's body and Regan's room." Father Karras sprinkled some of his special water around the room. "This is goodbye water," he explained to Regan. "It helps spooky friends find their way back where they belong." The spooky friend didn't like the goodbye water. It made Regan say words that weren't very nice and turn her head around to look behind her without moving her body, which looked very silly. "The power of kindness protects her," Dr. Marin said in a strong voice. "The power of friendship surrounds her." They stayed with Regan all night long, reading from their special book and sprinkling goodbye water. The house shook a little bit. The wind howled outside. Regan's bed wiggled and jumped. Finally, when the first light of morning peeked through the window, something amazing happened. A swirl of green mist rose up from Regan and floated out the window, back to the spooky world where it belonged. Regan blinked her eyes. "Is the spooky friend gone?" she asked in her own sweet voice. "Yes," said Father Karras with a smile. "It's gone home now." Regan's mom gave her a big hug. "And let's keep that wooden board from the basement locked away," she said. Dr. Marin nodded. Some toys aren't really toys at all. From that day on, whenever Regan heard strange noises at night or saw shadows that looked like they were moving, she remembered what Father Karras had taught her to say: "Spooky friends can't stay where they're not invited. This is my room and my body, and you must go home now." And they always did. The end. I hopes you all enjoyed our little tale, and I hope to see you all again real soon. Bye-byes now. Oh, And don't you forget to like and subscribe, and if you wants to leave a comment, that's okay too.